In CinemaCon 2019, before the COVID-19 pandemic decimated our humankind much more viciously and successfully than any xenomorph colony could dream about, 20th Century Fox Studio announced a new alien feature film had been greenlit. The seventh film of the franchise, titled Alien Romulus, would be written and directed by Uruguayan director Fede Alvarez, and the story written with Alvarez's usual partner in crime, Rodo Sayagues. Set in a timeline in between the original film from 1981 by Ridley Scott and James Cameron's sequel from 1986, we have a prologue in which we saw the wreckage of USS Nostromo and an ominous fossil was being retrieved. At this point, the Weyland-Yutani Corporation would be unaware of the danger looming with these oily black remnants. They likely thought it was a new fossil fuel source. We were then introduced to the protagonist of this movie, Rain Carradine, a colonist on the rundown LV-410. Like a prisoner, Rain thought she had served her tenure in the contract with Weyland-Yutani and felt it was enough to free her to live for her utopia, a planet called Ivaga 3. Like all major corporations that will FU at every opportunity present, her contract was extended for no rhyme or reason, and the downtrodden Rain seems to resign to fate with her brother Andy, an android adopted and program altered by her late father. Just as the siblings were frustrated to be condemned to stuck on LV-410 for eternity, Rain was offered a way out in the form of an ex-boyfriend, Tyler, with his motley crew who got in a possession of a decommissioned hauler called Covalent 4 in an effort to travel that long arduous voyage to Ivaga. Yikes, what a mouthful. That's what a sci-fi movie would have you rumbling through. Anyway, the crew had to drop by the space station Renaissance to steal cryostasis equipment, which was crucial for the long journey. If you had been a fan of the Alien franchise, you will be acquainted with this concept by now. So we tied back to the prologue, where you see the space station now suffered a genocide, and the crew had to come face to face with the evil lying in the dark shadows of the space station. Romulus to me is a nice spin-off story of the people in the Alien universe, once again highlighting how Weyland-Yutani had been putting people through living hell, and one wondered who was the real evil behind the franchise. I think it's pretty blatant at this point. Rain, played by actress Kylie Spaney, who had a feat in sci-fi franchise previously with Pacific Rim Uprising, as well as the fun ensemble thriller Bad Times at El Royale, both movies I had watched but could not remember seeing the young actress. It was easy to label Rain as the next Ripley, but it was hard for Spaney to draw that raw response from audience like Sigourney Weaver did back in 1981, and of course generations of fans over the years. Perhaps we were being unfair to young Spaney. The relationship between Rain and Andy was an underlying theme as reference to the title, which of course derived from the mythology of Romulus and Remus, who helped create the city of Rome and the Roman Empire. The twins, who were famously fostered by a she-wolf in a mountain called Lupercal, after being left for dead since infants by enemies of their royal blood, before growing up to assume their regal fate and fall out with each other, leading to the death of Remus, which many strongly believe to be committed by brother Romulus. The names of Romulus and Remus were used for the modules of the space stations, and it was also highlighted in the difference in mentality and decisions made between Rain and Andy, which were important plot points in the story. An integral character, although the execution was something to be frowned upon, was an android called Rook, which was a poorly created AI deepfake in the form of the late Ian Holmes, who of course was the villainous Ash in the 1981 original. To facilitate a barrier in their mission on Renaissance, Rain had to harvest the programming hardware on the dismembered Rook onto Andy. This led to the watered down humanity in choices made by the otherwise kind Andy to a cold corporate machine. However, on the flip side, making such logical, ruthless choices do help in curbing unnecessary life loss. I love this conundrum, and in terms of Tyler's crew, they were a bunch of irritating characters baiting to be killed off. The biggest culprit of them all is the cousin Beyond, who was vile and unlikable from the onset, so whatever fate befell of him was satisfying. It was hard to measure this young cast up to the likes of great actors like Weaver, Holmes, Skerritt, Hurt, Stanton, Koto, Bean, Paxton, Reiser, and Hendrickson, but from the way the characters were written, only Rain and Andy were given the most redeeming qualities among the lot. One character, the damsel in distress Kay, was there to facilitate a big WTF moment at the climatic sequence when her physiological status, combined with the xenomorph attack, culminated into a horror unseen before in this franchise. And I will not say I enjoyed it, to be frank. One aspect of the production I did enjoy was the technology on the colony, the hauler, the space station, etc. should be way ahead of our timeline, yet it looked like it was stuck in the 1980s when the first movies were made. It would certainly help to watch the movies in the correct sequence and do not get taken out due to the contrast in production value in the films. The musical score was from A Cure for Wellness composer, Benjamin Wallfisch, certainly had a charming spooky ambience to it. Fede Alvarez gained his fame with 2013 reboot of Evil Dead, which really took the Sam Raimi classic and cranked up the gore and insanity to a whole new level. He followed up with the 2016 Don't Breathe, which gave Turkey Baster a whole new meaning to horror fans all over. I was certainly excited by his involvement with yet another franchise reboot, and I thought he did a nifty job and showed enough reverence towards the films that preceded Romulus. With the way things ended, a continuation of Rain and Andy's journey to Yvargal certainly is in the pipeline. The movie garnered 350 million worldwide and positive reviews from audience and critics, but I think Ridley Scott's Prometheus had more of an impact on the first watch for me. But in terms of horror set pieces, Romulus might have an edge over other modern sequels. I'm giving Alien Romulus an 8 out of 10, but I felt runtime could be slightly truncated. As always, please give me a like and share this video, and please subscribe to this channel and spread the love, folks. The preceding review was a hefty 7 films review of the VHS franchise, so go check it out. Now I'm wondering if Rain and Andy would meet a Fassbender model of an android in the next movie. Hope the deepfake AI would not be that horrible, but I don't bet on it.